Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome into another episode of the Unpacking Podcast with me, your host, Jean Faymas. Welcome. Today, on our episode of The Pod, we have a former university history professor and an avid strategy game enthusiast. Alongside being a dear friend of mine and a founding part of Vishayon, she is predominantly known now as Phase Connect's archivist, as member of the company's third Invaders generation. While she may appear more mature, that doesn't stop her being cheeky and sporty, or causing our community to be surprisingly down bad. Considered one of the great endurance streamers of our time, and possibly one of the first users of the #tag on twitch.tv. Please, everybody, give a lovely, warm welcome to this VTuber who's going to inevitably make history, Cleo. Woo! Cleo, thank you so much for being on the pod this morning. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Sorry if my voice sounds a little cooked, guys. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm sick.
No,
I'm fully sick.
It's we were talking about it. You leave your the confines of your streaming room for like 1 second, and then you get sick. It's what happens as a streamer. No,
Yeah.
we're gonna be chatting chill, and hopefully not stressing your voice out this morning.
And hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah. You can give
Hit me
yourself
with
a little bit of time to recover. I'll hit you with those hard-hitting questions where you're
The
vulnerable.
hard-hitting questions.
Yeah. I'm lulling you into a false sense of security here.
Yeah.
This is a map stream. Yes, it is. The wonderful Cleo. I'm gonna just let's just get right into it. It's a question I've asked everybody so far, and I really love this question because it kind of, I think everyone's come forward with a different perspective. Cleo, I want to know, what was kind of the first? Do you even remember? I mean, we're going all the way back here. Do you remember what was the first spark that made you want to become a VTuber? Like, I'm talking like, who were you watching? What did you see? Was it a streamer? Like, do you remember that one? We're like, oh, I want to do that. I want to try this.
My situation is a little, I think, maybe not a bit different. But, so I was teaching at the time.
Yes.
We were in COVID lockdown.
That's right.
And we didn't really know what was happening because obviously everything was up in the air. Sorry, Lottie is wanting to play. I was trying to make the classes enjoyable because if anyone was in university at the time, probably all education, I suppose, you probably know, like, most people weren't paying attention to the classes. They were wanting to goof off and just like, well, I mean, the world was kind of like falling apart for a lot of people,
bit,
so
yeah,
I
just a
can
smidge.
kind of understand why, maybe paying attention to a class for 50 minutes was maybe a bit difficult at the time. Anyway, so I just tried to make the classes as enjoyable as possible, trying to make them engaging and fun, and hopefully that people would want to learn and like, I don't know, engage with the sources because to be honest, most people don't actually do that. So I was doing that, and basically, like, towards the end of that semester, which would have been, what was that?
End of 2020.
That would have been.
Yeah.
No, it would be
Really?
like, it was mid-year 2020.
Yeah.
And basically, just one of the students was like, "Have you thought about streaming? Because you do a good job
That's
of
interesting.
entertaining."
Because they were enjoying your classes so much, and I think we talked to Marco as well. There was a similar thing. We joked about the live chat in Zoom kind of almost being like a chat room. You got a taste of what it would have been like to broadcast live. Were you shocked when they said that to you, or were you like, "Oh, wait a minute, maybe they're right"? You're like, "Nah, of course, I got this."
I had thought about it previously, but like nothing, anything like.
Was it just being in the gamer world that made you think about it? Because you watched. I'm assuming you actually might have watched video game streamers before you watched VTuber streamers.
Yes.
So you had thought about it there. Interesting. But then what made you go give it like a serious thought? Do you remember what changed it from that one note to you're going to actually look into it? Was it finding like HoloLive or?
So there was definitely HoloLive at the time. Watching clips, and I still wanted to work in academia. At the time, and so I was thinking, well, if I did streaming, I would want to do it faceless, I didn't want to
so
have
that was
like,
important to you at the time. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want to have like my name be associated or face be associated with, I play games where sometimes things that you say
I
about
remember when we
certain,
first found each other, and your top clip was literally, I think it was just captioned Poland. Like,
yeah.
like this is all the way back. I should have prefaced this earlier for people who are maybe newer here. Me and Cleo have known each other for quite a few years now of streaming. Back when you were still starting, that was very much those early clippable moments. So
yeah, lots of early moments of me yelling at little men on a map for either not doing their job or just anyway. So yeah, I didn't really want to have potentially stuff like that associated with my career.
Yeah.
Just in case I get fired because of, I don't know, heated gamer moments, but not like the on a bridge type deal.
I was gonna say Cleo.
On like a
yeah,
just swearing about like I don't know, Poland or exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe wanting not your students to know about it to allow that separation at that time.
That too.
Yeah,
that too.
Interesting. So
I
getting into it, like leading up to that, you thought, okay, I want to be a streamer. Like, what was the behind the scenes getting prepped for you to even go live on your first stream? Like, you remember the process? Like, how much was it, oh, I need to think about this, and how much was it, how do I get a model? I've got one, let's do this.
Well, the thing is, I started asking about like artists around, I think, late 2020.
Okay, yeah.
And I finally got a reply from one of them in like May 2021, I think.
It was like that, wasn't it?
Yes. Basically, one of them finally replied to my DMs, and it turns out it was Tanner, who I ended up working with. And she was just like, yeah, I'm open for commissions. What do you have in mind? Blah, 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 blah. And then basically that sort of process took a long time. So I was just working and, doing my regular thing. And then in the background, that was just kind of slowly being worked on.
Was it kind of one of those things where it wasn't really serious because it was just kind of happening in the background until you just suddenly had the model? Because you didn't go live until you had a model. You never PNG, VTubed or anything like that beforehand.
Never PNG'd. No.
When you were kind of approaching that, what was the mentality in the back of your head? Like, did you think that like, oh, I'll just give it a shot, or like how much were you?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like how much were you pre-prepared to even like streaming?
Well, that's the thing. I did the stupid thing that you shouldn't do when you're streaming, in that you spend a lot of money on a model.
Yeah.
And you don't actually know if you like it or not. Yeah. I didn't check if I liked streaming or if I liked VTubing or if I, even wanted to do it.
You're like, one student said I was the best. I've got this.
yeah, that was definitely it. No, I was just like, kind of in a. I mean, like I was working and I was getting paid, and I thought it wasn't too expensive.
Yeah, at that time. Yeah,
it didn't break the bank
models,
or anything.
Yeah.
But, I figured, okay, I've put a bunch of money into it, I may as well just go for it.
Did that kind of like override the fear of even going live for the first time?
Yeah. It was kind of just like, I've spent all the money on the model already, I may as well actually stream instead of just being scared on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, when you were doing the model and creating the first look for Cleo, I think you have talked about this a little bit before, but like how much of the original design, and this is like different for everyone, but for you at least, was how much was it you, and how much was it you kind of playing with the different parts?
Oh, it's 100% me.
It's okay.
So the outfit is literally, I have that outfit. I wore that for my thesis defense.
That's right.
I can replicate the entire fit. It's all Uniqlo, aside from the shoes, which is spring court.
Incredible.
I still have the shoes somewhere, I think. I can see them in the corner of the room. It's literally just me. I didn't do anything fantastical. So my assumption, like my mentality for the model design was that this was 2021, so a lot of people had like very fantastical designs.
Exactly. You at the time definitely had a very rare look by making it more simplistic. I also had a similar thing a little bit, but still more like anime. Yours was very, I just want to be a person. Was that
Yeah, it was a conscious decision.
It was conscious. Yeah, it was conscious for you. Did you think it because you couldn't play up that more weedy element? Was it like, or was it just like you'd feel more comfortable in that?
It was a few things. So
Yeah.
I think I can handle playing a character, maybe. But for me at least, I realized that with my content being what it was, I knew what I was going to be doing. I was just going to be playing strategy games.
You kind of knew that's what you wanted to play from the start as well.
Yeah, I was always just going to be doing the same, like, I was just going to be streaming what I did in my free time, which was I was going to play map games and I was going to, I don't know, I just a silly person.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was basically just like, I don't necessarily think that this sort of content needs you to have a fantastical design. So I think it would be better if I was more true to myself. And that also being just like a regular person would help with, it would help with like setting me out, right? Or making me stand out, because I think by that point we were sort of in the Hololive Gen 1 EN had happened.
Everything started getting more and more gachified with everyone's looks.
Everyone's designs were definitely by that point it was very fantastical, like demon succubus girls were like a dime
everywhere,
a dozen, and you know, demon girls still kind of are very common.
Of course.
So I figured, well, if I'm just like a regular person wearing mundane outfit, like I think that kind of helps me stand out a little bit.
Absolutely. I think that it definitely did. And it's interesting how that kind of like leads into you just wanting to do what you already did in your first few streams. Did you find that helped you with like your earlier streams, just feeling comfortable, being like, I'm just gonna do what I do anyway? Was there like, in your first few streams, you remember the thoughts you were having? Was there anxieties? Was there like any expectations?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like even right back at the start, like in the first... Do you
absolutely.
Do you remember your first stream and like
yes, I do.
How it went down?
Yes, I basically just said, I'm gonna do a test stream.
Okay.
Fuck it. I don't know how to stream. I don't know how to use OBS. I don't know how to do anything. I didn't have any assets. I had. Do you remember that blue background that I had with the castle?
I freaking sat in front of that blue background many an hour. I know that background distinctly.
Yeah, I had that. I got that from a website. That I found online, of like a online resource for like streamer backgrounds for free. Found it there. I didn't have a BGM. I didn't have stingers. I didn't have any assets. I had my starting soon screen.
Oh yes.
I don't know if for the old heads who remember this, I didn't have or the new people who don't know this, I didn't have a starting soon screen. So my starting soon screen was just the actual regular scene, but I had starting soon in the generic default text in OBS.
You did. And it slowly got more and more chaotic as you kept streaming.
It did.
I remember.
It did. Yes, it did. So yeah, my starting soon screen was literally just the chatting screen with some text that said starting soon, and that was it. So I didn't have like anything planned for the first stream. I literally called it like test stream.
And when you were doing that, was it like, were you surprised by how it went down? Like, do you remember your
there was like 13 people there. I was like, what the heck? So I had like I think for a first time streamer, there was a lot of people there. Yeah. And I advertised myself on like Twitter and other places.
Yeah.
That's definitely sort of helped with regards to getting my name out there. But,
yeah, of course.
I played Arc Knights, and because there was an event on at the time, and I think I pulled for the character that was being released with the event, and I got her in like 2 pulls, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll do the event then. And then I just did the event stages and just chatted with the people in the chat, and played a little bit of Arc Knights, and that was it.
And after that, was it like, did you have that moment of, oh, wait a minute, I like this, or like, I want to keep doing this the next day? Was it instantaneous for you, that kind of feeling of wanting to go back live again, or were you like, oh, that wasn't what I expected it to be? Like, do you remember?
Yeah. I think for me, I kind of just treated like a lot of the streams as like, oh, these are just test streams. These are just test streams. I'll do like a full debut when I'm finally, I feel ready to do it. Little did I know. But yeah, I just kept doing like these test streams, and then I stopped calling them test streams, and then I was just like, oh, I guess I'm just streaming now.
I'm just hanging out. Do you remember the point where you maybe kind of pivoted to making it more serious? Was it after? Because I remember you did do that like joking debut stream like months in. Was that when you mentally were starting to take it all more seriously? Or was there a thought in the back of your head that I could take this seriously?
I think by the time that I went full time was when I actually did do that pivot.
So it was actually after you shifting from no longer doing your university job.
Yeah.
So you think for the entire time you were in university, you were like just trying it out?
Yeah, it was just like a fun thing. It was just like a fun thing that I did on the side.
Did you, when you were like starting off and doing that stuff before, taking the risk to like, quit your day job and become a full-time streamer, do you think you were still maybe challenging yourself to improve or kind of find stability in your streams before that, to allow you the option to then go full-time? Or you still just as casual leading up to that?
I think it was pretty casual. Like, I still think I'm kind of the same sort of casualness when it comes to streaming. I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily have the most, I think, serious setup. It's just like, I play the games I like, and people seem to enjoy that, so...
That's really interesting. So was there no, like, I guess early on, maybe things you noticed you were doing, like maybe self-critical weaknesses that you're like, oh, I want to do that better. I think I could make the stream more enjoyable if I try this. Were those things that you ever thought about when you were starting off?
I don't think I did necessarily. I mean, like, because like it was just like a side hobby.
Okay, so you didn't have to really be critical in that regard.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't really treating streams, I think, too seriously, and I think that sort of showed in the way that I handled myself a lot. I think like it was just like maybe the time where I started to take it a little bit more seriously was when I was actually making more money from streaming than I was in academia.
Yeah.
Which did happen whilst I was still working.
Yes. Yes.
And that was I think sort of like a pivotal movement maybe of me like maybe taking it a bit more seriously, because I was like, oh, okay, maybe there is something here. And then later that year I got released from, or my contract didn't get renewed. And so I was like, well, I guess we can just try and do streaming then and see how that goes. And if it doesn't pay off, then I guess I'll just look for another job in another university.
Yeah.
And thankfully it did.
Thankfully it's done incredibly well for you. I mean, it's more so than after, like, you go from casually streaming to now, okay, it's a full-time thing and this is the thing I focus on. Do you find yourself ever when you're going about your streams kind of, okay, being like, these are things that I admire in other streamers, or are there other streamers you watch and you enjoy that you go, oh, I like what they're doing and I want to kind of be influenced by that part of their content that I enjoy and to like improve what I'm doing? Do you ever have that thought, or do you really just stick to, I like playing strategy games and I know what works for me?
I think it would be a bit pretentious of me to say that I don't get influenced by other people. I think it's pretty clear, like, stuff like, watching Northern Lion, definitely. I think his sense of humor definitely rubs off on, I think, a lot of us.
Yes.
I think it would be a bit naive to say that we don't, like, even just like everyone in general. I think like we are kind of just like sponges for various different sort of influences around us. And I think we do either consciously or subconsciously, use or maybe pick up on things that other people do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's one particular trait that is common in VTubing is the VTuber accent that I know
Oh,
you have
yes.
talked about in the past.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
I've definitely have to evolve the way I express myself on stream because I definitely adopted that early on.
yeah, there's a lot of streamers I think who they put on a certain sort of intonation when they speak, which I don't think I could do, but there's
Not the
definitely
the e-girlification of Cleo White.
yeah, I don't think I could do an e-girl accent. Sorry.
No, that's I think that it is very fair. I'm more like curious, like where you as a person who streams find you maybe struggle a little. Like, do you have points where you're like, this is an area where I'm like, no matter how many years I've been doing it now, this is the part I kind of struggle with, and I'm always trying to challenge myself to improve on. Is it the like interaction? Is it the balancing chat and gaming? Or have you just naturally found you've kind of, I guess, started into those skills as you've done it more and more?
I would like to think that I improve over time.
Yeah, just gradually, without being conscious.
Whether I have, yeah.
That's interesting.
Whether or not I have actually improved, I don't know, but
I think we all have. I definitely, all of us like girls for sure, in our own ways.
Yeah. I think like I know for a fact that like a lot of people maybe, I mean I get it, like most streams is that like, OMG, this chat is dead, this must be view botted, blah 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 blah. But that's a lot of the time is because yes, I do focus on the game a lot.
You do focus on the game a lot, and I guess like,
and then a lot of my game choices aren't really like chattable games.
You're like, I'm locked in, I'm doing the best option here. We all know it's right.
Like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I need to, like, I mean, this is something I guess I'm anxious about even to this day, where I'm just like, am I being interesting enough? I know for a lot of people, I am just second monitor content, and I'm not going to like kid myself that like the majority of people watching are actually watching on the main monitor. Like, I'm the main focus for them. I know for a fact that like most people watching me, I am the second monitor content, and then like I try and do like silly bits sometimes.
Have you found your confidence has grown from when you first started out to doing jokes and being funny and trying to integrate that into what you're doing?
I think so. Yeah.
Did you was it something you expected to find enjoyment in?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's interesting. This is kind of, I guess, segue into the next section, because after obviously starting off university, you go full time, you do all that. Like both of us, and like, you know, and you originally like, you know, started as like an independent streamer. Was that was more, I'm assuming, than just like, you know, convenience, you know, I'm gonna try this out, have a small model.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't, and I might be assuming here, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, your intention originally to maybe strive for becoming an idol, which was like a predominant thing even at the time when we first started. You know what I mean? Like, was there a thought in the back of your head where like, like even starting off, like, you like corporate, or did you always position yourself as like, of course I'm going to be independent, and then, you know, or has there always been that thought in the back of your head, I actually don't mind the idea of joining a larger agency? Did that come out of nowhere for you a little bit?
I mean,
considering even auditioning for like the option to transition out of being an indie.
Like I think a lot of people probably auditioned for like HoloLive in like 2020.
Yeah. Did you ever think?
Yes. Yeah, I did it. I auditioned for Holo. I auditioned for.
That's
interesting.
I
think I auditioned for Niji Sanji. I think I auditioned for.
So it was always kind of
quite a few people, actually.
Do you think it comes from you? I know that you were definitely a fan of corporate VTuber starting off. Is that where your desire probably started with? I should try it because you respected it. Yeah,
absolutely. I think I saw the people having fun playing video games, and I was like, that seems like a fun job.
Yes.
I think that would be nice, and you know, that's I think something that's quite commonplace across the internet, not just necessarily in VTubing. I think a lot of people want to become YouTubers or like streamers or Let's Players. Like, you know, there's a lot of young people want to do that. So when VTubing happened, I think, you know, with the big explosion that it did, like I think a lot of people were in the similar sort of mindset that I was, where it's like, this seems fun. Having a job in it seems like a cool thing that you can do. And I didn't know anything about indie VTubing. for like the first
Interesting.
6 months of me watching VTubers.
So for you, I guess your solidified admiration of the craft came from the corporate side of things.
Yeah,
I mean,
when I
always
first
carried that respect with you, I imagine. Then when you first
when I first watched VTubers, I was like, oh, this is like a Japanese company thing. Like you have to be Japanese and in a company. Like there's no such thing as like Westerners. Yeah, I didn't know Westerners were doing VTubing, and I didn't know like I think it was the first big sort of EN debut outside of a company that I saw was the Artemis of the Blue debut.
Oh yeah, love the Artemis.
Because that one was like that was pretty popular at the time, or at least it seemed to be very like it was all over the place. And I remember watching that, and I was like, oh wait, like you can just be like a person who's doing this from your home. You don't need to be like I naively was like, oh, you have to be like in a studio or something to do this. And I didn't know that you just... It did
seem like that, didn't it?
Yeah, like I for some reason I got in my head like, oh, it's like you need to be in like a company, they're going to like a studio where you record it, like the motion tracking is like some elaborate setup and it's not like just your phone. So that's kind of why I was like, oh, in the back of my head, I was like, oh, well, I guess like a logical progression of being a VTuber is like you maybe start out as like an independent and then you become like a corporate VTuber. Obviously you don't have to don't have to do that, but that was my sort of mindset of like, oh, like if I want to do VTubing, if you want to have a career in it, then you have to join a company.
I think that's
so
interesting to see.
I did end up like auditioning for quite a few places, and then I started like eventually, you know, fast forward to 2022 and when I finally start streaming, and I got more comfortable on the mic and everything was, you know, when I was like, oh, maybe I should like, now that I'm an indie with like a decent sized audience, maybe I could, you know, try again auditioning. Was never...
That's the interesting thing I was going to kind of ask about is, because that was kind of you auditioning pre-even debut. Then you come in indie, you start enjoying that, find some stability in that.
Yeah.
Was there a point where you're like, well, I don't really need this? And then where did you, so for you, was it getting more comfortable? I should try again. What kind of went through your brain and wanting to try again, approaching corporate, spaces?
I think back then it was just like, oh, the auditions are open. Well, that seems like a laugh. I'll try. So I auditioned for like a bunch of things. So it's just like, oh, well, the auditions are open, so I may as well.
Yes.
It was never like something serious of wanting to actually, like it was never something that I was like super serious about in terms of like, I want to be an idol. I want to be on a stage in a frilly idol outfit and
Imagine
do like
Bros,
the dancing
Kino.
And the motion capture and all that jazz.
Yeah.
I've never been one for that, but I think of like it was just sort of like I don't know, it seemed fun, like the talents make it seem like a fun time. So like that could be fun to do one day. I think a lot of people in VTubing are kind of
secretly
alone.
Beloved. Oh yeah.
And so I think a lot of us, I think a lot of us do kind of want to have like a community of fellow VTubers, and so like being in a company does provide that, right?
Yes, that's a definitely a good point there. I was kind of wondering if there was something that specifically drew you to FaZe, but it seems like across the board it was the general culture of corporate that you were intrigued with across, like in general. Like in the end, could have you actually seen yourself joining a different group other than FaZe, or did it kind of be like, no, maybe this is the one that actually is suitable for me and I actually would say yes to and want to be part of? It's like there's something about FaZe that actually was appealing to you and set it apart from different kind of corporate setups.
I mean, I was a fan of FaZe, and obviously,
yes,
like
of
a lot
course.
of my early success, I do owe to FaZe members.
Yeah.
Lumi was the one who I think.
Love Lumi.
Lumi was the first one to raid me and sort of shove like a lot of viewers onto me at the time. I was eating enchiladas and playing Crusader Kings 3, and then all of a sudden Lumi dropped, like, I think at that time it was 700 people into my chat, which had like,
yeah,
I think at the time maybe like 25 people at the time. And I was just trying to, I was just trying to eat enchiladas for lunch, and they were delicious. And so I was just like trying to chat to them whilst eating my lunch, and it was just like, you know, I had an appreciation for like Lumi and the other members. Like I thought they were funny. And so when the phase, what was it, Gen 3 auditions, it was Gen 3 and Invaders at the same time.
Yes.
And that, I think by that point I had been streaming for about 6 months. And I was just like, well, why not? I may as well. It's open. I like them. I don't think I'll get in. I'll just, like, a lot of the, I don't know if any of the viewers know this, but a lot of the audition process, they tend to have very structured auditions.
Yes.
So they ask for certain things, like, they ask for, like, a pre-edited video which features some of your strengths. So, like, singing, stream bits, gameplay, whatever sort of skills that you have. They want to see that in the debut pitch, you know, sort of video that you have to put out that sort of pitches yourself to them, right?
On the creator, yeah.
Yeah, you have to sell yourself, right?
Yes.
So a lot of those companies do ask for that, like Hololive asks for that. A bunch of the other companies who I don't think are even here anymore were all asking for that. I didn't know how to edit videos, and I still don't really know how to edit videos.
I was like, do you still?
I use if you ever see any of like the shorts that I have to do for sponsors,
She's
and stuff,
bringing out a goddamn window movie maker to make this.
You joke? I use Clipchamp, which is Windows Movie Maker in Windows 11. Yeah, I don't have like anything fancy.
No, I believe it.
I have Clipchamp, and that's what I use, and I just, that's why there's no like fancy editing with it.
Yeah.
The hardest part, it took me like half an hour once to add text.
You have Adobe Suite money. Clea, you have Adobe Suite.
I do.
That's beautiful.
But you know, it's if I can do it for free, I will.
Honestly, absolutely.
I'm a very frugal person.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes.
So yeah, like a lot of those videos ask for structured things. And also they also ask for 5 minutes, like maximum. For the phase audition, which I don't think it was even, I don't even remember if it was for phase or maybe it was for something else, and then I just reused it for phase.
Classic.
I basically just like made like a one take, 6 minutes. Hang on, no, I would have deleted it. It's gone. Sorry. I think it's 6 minute 27-second me rambling to the camera talking about myself, and you know, I think I was like, oh, you know, I started streaming like 6 months ago, and I started off small, and I, you know, managed to grow an audience to this size, and you know, I these are my interests, and you know, people seem to enjoy my content, blah 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 blah. Just talking about myself, one take, didn't edit out like anything.
Just sent
of
it,
like
full send.
I think I probably had like ums and ahs in there, like, you know, the nervousness of just sort of like selling yourself and talking about yourself in a positive light, which is always
the interview process.
And always an interesting thing to do.
Yes.
So I did that, and uploaded that, and sent it off to the phase audition. I think there was like a Niji Sanji audition at the same time. And then I think there was a Hololive audition after that, and then I think some of the like what are they? They're now Brave Group. I think some of the Brave Group companies as well.
You did a bunch at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, they're all auditioning at once, so I was like, I'll just, you know, you may as well, like, they're not gonna accept, you can't get accepted if you don't apply.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was just
absolutely.
like, I mean, it takes me like 3 minutes to fill out the form and then put the video in, like the URL into the thing. Like, it's really not that difficult. I'll just do it. Why not? I'm probably not going to hear anything. And then it turns out I heard back from phase, and I think there was maybe one other, but yeah, with the phase one, it was just like, Sakana messaged me out of the blue and said, "Hey, thank you for auditioning, blah, 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 blah. We would like to talk to you further about this." And then I progressed through the audition phases. And then I think I got to the final selection of I think Gen 3. And obviously they didn't go with me. But also the funny thing was that I had to do a YouTube stream.
I remember this. Yeah.
You probably remember me crashing out about this.
Yeah.
So we had to do a private YouTube stream for this. Yes. I did not know that on YouTube, if you want to stream on YouTube, you have to apply to stream 24 hours in advance, and then it's like a manual process to be approved. So I did that the morning of the audition. Also, I had 2 hours sleep because I was nervous.
Yep. But I think you were like streaming for hours a day before as well. Like,
yeah, I did a regular stream, thinking that like, oh, I'll just stream on YouTube tomorrow. Yeah, it's like I think it was like an hour. So obviously, get to the interview, and I'm like setting up the YouTube thing, only to find out that I can't actually stream on YouTube. Yeah. And then I panicked, being like, I can't do this. What can we do? And then they suggested that I stream it through Discord. So I'm in a Discord call with Sakana.
I remember this, yes.
Oh god, hang on. Who else was
the two managers, or it was like a couple managers?
It was Sakana and then 3 managers.
That's right.
And Sakana didn't say a fucking thing, by the way. He was completely quiet, and the only person that was speaking to me in the audition was oh my gosh, it wasn't Aiko, because I don't know if Aiko was there at the time. I think it was Mumi. I think Mumi was the one who was doing all the talking and doing like, basically everything.
He was just like stone-facing you.
Yeah, so Sakana was just, I guess, watching, and then the other two, I guess, were just like note-taking. So I was doing this via Discord. Problem with that, no audio. No audio from anything that I was talking about. So I had no BGM.
Because of the way you were trying to do like the OBS and everything. Oh no, that's right.
It was just my raw mic inputs. No background music. And they were just like, the way that they framed it was, and this is probably my fault for just like interpreting what they were said. They were like, hey, just treat it like a regular stream. And then also, but in that regular stream, show off your strengths, right? So if you're going to sing. And I was like, oh shit, what do I do? And so I decided to do 30 minutes of just chatting to myself, because they weren't typing in the chat. So I just yapped to myself for 30 minutes.
You were just like in the white room, padded cell, straight jacket on.
Like an absolute insane person. Literally no feedback to what I was talking about. So I can't.
Is this real right now?
I can't remember what I talked about, but I think I was just talking about like interesting things that I'd found on the internet, and like funny things, and then some history facts and all that jazz, and being like, oh, isn't it interesting, blah blah blah. And then after half an hour, I booted up Europa Universalis 4, and at the time,
crazy that it went for like a half an hour too. That's a long interview process.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's just half the thing, because it was like an hour long. It was just like play like yap for 30 minutes and then play EU4 for 30 minutes. So I had EU4 in the background, no audio for them. And then I'm just talking to myself, and I think I loaded up Gotland Pirates, the campaign, on very hard, which is one of the most stupid campaigns that you can do in EU4. Because I had done it recently on stream, and was like, oh, I'll just do that because I know what to do. It went fucking tits up instantly. To basically describe what happened, you start off as this tiny little island nation, which, and then I was playing on the most difficulty, and you have an enemy who is essentially 3 nations in one, and they're huge and they're very powerful, and then they can kill you instantly. So what happened was I did that, and then I instantly got attacked by the big nation of 3 nations, instantly, and I was like, well,
You're
this is
like,
gonna
this is
go
the thing
great.
I'm good at. By the way.
Yeah, so whilst I'm getting destroyed by the AI in
Yeah.
EU4, I remember I made an admiral and I called it H2O Sakana and his stats sucked. I remember that. And then I think I just started, because I knew it was going poorly in terms of gameplay. I was like, oh, it's kind of like, I talked about the history of pirates because I knew a little bit, like surface level. And then I talked about like, oh, it's really interesting how like Morocco, like the over here, and like I moved the map over, and like it's really interesting how Morocco once raided Iceland. And then I talked about that for a while.
And all this is to say that you did not get it.
Yeah, and then I went over time. I went over an hour. I think I got to like...
Yeah.
I think I was just still playing EU4 at like the 65-minute mark, and then Moomy stepped in and being like, and had to interrupt and being like, you're over time. And I was like, oh, I thought you were gonna like stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they were gonna stop me, and they didn't. So I just kept going. And so yeah, awkwardly, after that, oh god, what was it? I got like a feedback from Moomy, and she was like, this was an okay attempt, but like some feedback was like you were very nervous, you didn't time manage well, what else was it? Basically I just got like a bunch of like, imagine like I gave in my assessment and then the teacher just went red
they
X,
circled
red X,
everything,
red X, red
highlighter
X, red
all
X, red
over,
X.
yeah.
And then I got it back and I was like, oh, okay, that went well. And then I think I just like fell asleep because I think at that point I was so nervous leading up to it. I only got 2 hours sleep. So I finished the stream and then I was just like, and then I fell asleep for like 12 hours. Yeah, and then I heard back like, I don't know, like a week or two later, and they were like, sorry, we went with someone else. And I was like, yeah, that I would not pick me either. Based on that, but yeah, that was fun.
But then like months later, you heard from Sakana with the opportunity to actually join the team.
Yeah,
and that
yes.
That unraveled
That
a whole different process. And I remember from the behind the scenes, but I want to like ask you about it and get some insight for everyone here.
Sure.
That whole like process, because it was a different perspective and it was a different opportunity, and you kind of got to actually, because you were proposed to join, learn more about what the entire position would actually entail. Because I guess in the past you were just like throwing out interviews to these corporations because it sounds cool, I can do it, takes 3 minutes. You're not actually considering the pros and the cons.
I wasn't like actually like thinking like,
will I actually get this?
No, I would see audition open and I would just be like, fuck it,
I'll go for it. So when you're actually in a position of, this is a possibility, that's a whole different can of worms that opens up.
Yeah, the fun part about it is that on YouTube, you can see on the back ends that like when people watch your videos and how long they watch it for. So every audition process that I submitted, I would, like a week later, I'd check the analytics of the video and I'd be like, oh, they watched it for like 5 seconds. Or, oh, they watched it for like 4 minutes. And I think the phase one is the only one that actually watched it the way through. But like, I mean, I understand why, because most of them are after specific things like pre-edited videos with a bunch of like a showcase of like your talents, right? And mine was a 6.5 minutes one take yapping about myself instead of anything that they were actually after. So of course they didn't watch it, or they watched it and they were like, well, this isn't what we have to close. And it's quite funny because like some of those plate companies aren't here anymore, or they're not doing very well, and I'm like, that's kind of funny. Not like in a spiteful way. Not in a spiteful way, but like, it's like, I mean, I not necessarily getting the last laugh.
Well, a little bit.
It is funny to see, how things turned out.
I mean, so much has evolved in the time of VTubing, even around corporate VTubing. I think you've joined FaZe at a very different time than when even FaZe first started. And I think even in the behind the scenes, as you were, building, your debut with FaZe, even at that time, things were changing in the VTuber world. Like when you got the opportunity and the potential to become, a member of the Invaders Gen, do you remember there being at that point like reservations actually coming up? And do you remember like like, what do you remember? What were some of the thoughts that were going through your head of, is this a good option for you? And what was like weighing that up, that experience like? It wasn't like, oh, I have to do this instantaneously. It's the best. Or was there like some hesitation?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Sakana approached me November 15th, 2023.
Yeah.
Same day I got fired. Let
right.
go. And I was like, I just remember, I think I had a stream, and he messaged me midstream, and I was like, what the fuck? And then
off the vibe.
Yeah, it did. And I finished the stream, and then I remember replying to him.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, what is going on? So then we had like a verbal agreement fairly early on, but obviously nothing seriously was like signed until mid 2024. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so like this was so that was late 2023, and then I think objectively, without like, I don't think stating any drama or pointing at anything in particular, but the first half of 2024 was kind of apocalyptic for corpo VTubing.
Things happen
in various different places and ways, and things just seem to be like things seem to be falling out of the goddamn sky. And so all the while I was seeing all of that happen, and then I had the situation of me potentially going corpo whilst all of this stuff was happening, and I was like, oh fuck, am I making a terrible decision right now? So like all of this was happening, and I was just like, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, am I joining a bad situation? Because from what you could see from like other places was like, oh god, like everything seems terrible, all these companies are collapsing, or bad things are happening, or massive drama is happening. I was like, oh god, is FaZe okay? So I was I was a little concerned that like all of this was happening, and like I was just checking the news like most days, being like, oh, what's happened now? And just thinking, oh shit, I've made a terrible decision.
Well, that's the thing. I like those observations, but what was the thing that made you go, no, FaZe is right for me? This is actually I trust. Was it something Sakana said? Was it? What made you go like, even in all the anxiety? Because in general, moving to corpo from what was for you quite a stable, comfortable indie position, you were doing well, better than you were in academia. You had a beautiful, like, supportive community that you still have. But like, what made you go, okay, despite all this and the risks and the changes, this is right for me?
Sakana is, I think, probably the reason why I ended up like actually bothering to commit to it. Was he is very open about a lot of things. Like I don't know how much I would be allowed to say, but
fair.
When it came to talking to him, like this is even before I signed an NDA, which is maybe a bit silly of him, but we had, I think, a series of 4 calls. And basically every call, he was just like, I would ask questions, and he would basically tell me everything, and show me data and information. And like I was asking, like, how is the financial situation of FaZe? Like, is it like worthwhile me joining if like the company isn't going to just like then explode? Because obviously at the time, like a lot of companies were just kind of going.
Very admirable to be open, because we were hearing a lot at the time about companies being very, talents being very in the dark about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and so no, like I was asking him questions, and he was very open and transparent about like the financial situation, plans for the company, staff situation. Like he told me basically everything, and that definitely helped put me at ease in regards to sort of, okay, at least FaZe on this, on the surface, and then what he's telling me behind the scenes is that, if I joined, it doesn't seem like the company is going to go tits up anytime soon.
And that kind of reassured you to be like, no, I think this is the right call.
Yeah. So it was definitely like, and obviously I had other concerns like, oh, if I join Phase, is it going to make financial sense? Because joining a company obviously comes with costs, as well as opportunities.
Yeah,
so
I
like
mean, with regards to that,
yeah.
like, what are the kind of differences you've experienced in that regard of the support? Like, you know, from the technological, from the assistance things, from the support from the managers. Obviously, there's the pro and con. You are, you know, sacrificing some amount of, you know, your finances to the corporation, but has that balance been incredibly fruitful for you? And were the reservations valid?
Yes.
Do you still think it's right to be like concerned about that? And do you think you're very fortunate for it working out because of the choices you made?
You absolutely should be concerned about, you know, those sorts of things. Like I think there's a lot of young and naive people in VTubing who see a company as like a big break, or seeing it as like a life-changing opportunity. And like, you know, for some people it is.
Yes.
But ultimately these are companies that, you know, they want to make a profit, and they want to make a profit from your work. And so you have to weigh up whether that fits your situation. And like, if you are able to be self-sufficient and do it yourself, you should just probably stay self-sufficient. And you know, if you are able to make you know, get success out of doing it yourself, then, you know, maybe joining a company isn't for you. And so like, for me at least, like we did have lots of talks about like financial situation. So it involved, you know, talking financially about like, how much am I making at the moment as an indie versus, you know, how much would I potentially be making if I joined Phase? You know, stuff like merch cuts, you know, other sort of things, sponsorships, all sorts of, you know, various different things. So like, it is a very serious decision that you do have to make when you join a company, in terms of like the financial situation, because obviously you need to make a living off this if you're going to do it as a main source of income. And Sakana at least was definitely very transparent about all of those things, about like, I you know, I asked him like, how many girls of the company, you know, are doing it as a full-time job and are able to, you know, make it
and getting that
make it work. And he told me. He told me, and
that's really valuable.
So, you know, he was always very open about those sorts of questions that I had, because obviously it doesn't make financial sense to join a company if you are going to end up losing money.
Of course.
So
so you want it to be the right call, and it's good that you both want to be equal on that, both you and of course Sakana. And then like you're in Phase, and you know, you've got the economically this is all good, but even from like a support standpoint for you, that's a whole different thing. There's a network there, there's a reach, and there's kind of, I guess, some prestige and stuff. How has that been different for you? Have you found
huge.
Like it's like has there been also new limitations introduced from that, as well as, I guess, like the benefits? Or is it all just been like, this has been super valuable for you personally?
It's pretty much like, I can't think of like any limitations, to be honest.
Fair.
Like, joining a company does mean that all of a sudden your reputation is
yes.
Like, your reputation and the company's reputation is now linked, right? Like, what you say and do does reflect on the rest of the company, so you do have to maybe think about that. But in terms of like the benefits of being in a company, you are like, for me at least, it's been amazing, right? Like, you go from when as an indie and we have to do it yourself. Like, maybe you have a manager. I never did. But like, I went from doing everything myself and everything basically being scuffed and low effort, to all of a sudden having access to a support network, staff support, financial support, even just emotional support of like having, you know, I had you guys already, but you know, you have people in the same situation that I was in. Like, for example, I was able to talk to Lumi a lot about like being an invader, for example. And Dizzy also is very willing to help and talk and help, you know, talk about concerns, because I think both Dizzy and Lumi, I think, may be able to attest that I may have like messaged them being like, am I making the right decision? Is this a good idea?
And getting that insight from a different side who'd already done it to kind of see what it was like.
Yeah. And so, you know, talking to them definitely helped with alleviating those fears. But yeah, no, yeah, having a brand attached to you like is kind of crazy, because a lot of stuff in this space of VTubing and content creation is kind of projection and clout.
I do have
prestige.
A few questions on that. We can definitely get into that in a little bit. For now, I want to circle back to because managers. Okay, interesting question. And I'd be crazy to me if this has ever happened to you, and maybe it hasn't entirely. Cleo, have you yet to encounter the "you can't do that" conversation? I know some other people in your gen might have been given a snap on the wrist about talking about certain things, but have you yet to? No, you're good goody two shoes. No managers have stepped in and been Cleo, we need at least only 5 hours of streams. You can't keep doing 13.
No, I haven't had management like step in at all to say like what I can and can't do. Like the only things that has happened is I've pitched things and management has been that's fine. Like the fantasy football stuff, I was just like, brilliant. I think this would be cool, and then management was like, yeah, this is cool, and so they were just like, sure, go for it, set it up. And then I set it up, and then I was like, oh, we should have prizes for the people who come first, second, third, and they were like, sure, we'll give them prizes.
That's awesome.
So yeah, like that's basically been it.
That's good you've encountered that. I mean, I was gonna say, like, is that a misunderstanding? Like, what would you say is the biggest misunderstanding from like you being in the corporate and then being independent, that people instantly assume you're like, oh, that's not a thing. People assume that's gonna happen to you, and that just straight up does not happen when you're corporate. Was that one of the big ones, or is there more as well that you can point to?
I think maybe a lot of people think that like content will change or personality will change anything. Like I think a lot of people maybe assume in certain, like when it comes to corporations and VTubing, that like a lot of them are quite strict. My situation isn't exactly the same as like maybe the average company situation, where I came in as a pre-existing IP. I get to be myself still, regardless of. So I didn't need to reinvent myself, which is obviously, you know, something that in certain other companies you would have to do, right? And then maybe in certain other companies they have more strict rules and sort of how you need to act on stream, or how you need to portray yourself, or like some sort of like ethic or you know, sort of standard that you need to hold yourself to. That as a result maybe puts like a bit of a muzzle or a leash on the talent and what they say, right? And you know, I think some companies allow talents to be more free than others.
Yes.
With regards to FaZe, no, I haven't had anything really, any restrictive
That's
things
great.
at all. Like I've pitched things, I've asked for things, and they've been very helpful.
I mean, like even for you, from your let's go a little behind the scenes then, because so on the surface, stream-wise, you can do whatever you want. How has the behind the scenes changed for you? Is it just genuinely
weird.
busy? Is that where the real change has happened for you? Is it behind the scenes, working with the team and managers and stuff?
Yeah, it's definitely weirder than being like an indie. Like going from an indie and having like, well, I had you guys as friends, of course, but like pretty much all of my decisions was, you know, it was just me by myself. Like if I got sponsorship offers, they were via my email, and then I had to do the whole arranging thing, and then like bartering and negotiating for sponsors. So like all of that was, it's very time consuming, and I ended up just like not really putting a lot of effort into a lot of the things that I think the average VTuber does spend time with, stuff like schedules and art assets and various different things.
I wouldn't know anything about spending time in those. Me personally, no.
I was very much just like my mentality when it came to streaming was like, if I want to get my name out there, the best place to do that is live
by
on
just
stream. And that everything else is probably not going to be as worthwhile as simply being live. So I didn't really bother with most of those things. But now being in a I had a fuck it we ball mentality. But like when it comes to being in a company, like that does, I will admit, change. But I still kind of have the ability to just be like, I'll go live whenever. I mean, Tema does that. Tema's just I'm gonna gorilla right now, and then she does that.
That's exactly what I was wondering actually next. Is I'm just gonna go live. Do you have like any kind of pre-stream little routine you do? Do you have like my cup of tea, got my water? You like, nah, just go live right now, roll out of bed.
Yes, sometimes. Well, I'm trying to be better about not waking up and instantly start streaming. I'm trying to be.
You're trying to give yourself a few minutes to
I'm trying to wake up a little bit early.
Nice.
So I've been trying to be a bit better about that, but it waxes and wanes with regards to sleep schedule. Sometimes I've been pretty bad lately.
Well, like, so there's very rare like theory crafting ideas that come up before you go live. You kind of just wing it. Probably that's a bit different now with corporate stuff. I mean, do you find you're brainstorming ideas for things off stream? Like you talked about the fantasy football. Obviously, you have your lectures. How do you find you compile those? Do you have like a notes documentation, or you just like keep them floating around the back of your head? Do you find maybe sometimes your best ideas happen when you're live because you spend so much time live? Is it some part you, some part the chat?
Sometimes it's like stuff on stream that makes like sparks inspiration. But for the most part, it's just stuff off the top of my head. I mean, a lot of my streams aren't necessarily creative in nature. A lot of it is just talk for a few hours and then we play a video game and I hang out with my community. Like, I don't really have like the same sort of maybe creative endeavors as other VTubers do.
You do have your lecture streams though. Do you find you like
I
the
have my lecture streams,
process for those? Like the actual is that fun for you, or is it more of a pressure for you when you do those kinds of more focused streams?
Yeah, it can be fun, but a lot of times I end up casually working on it, and then when it gets close to the deadline, I look through my notes and then I look at what I've already prepared and I'm like, oh, this is ass. And then I throw it all out, and inevitably I do like the entire thing in the last 3 days. I've pretty much every history lecture that I've done on stream, I basically rewrite in the last 3 days.
What does the clear, oh my god, I'm having to crunch, everything's hell, like, workspace look like?
Yeah.
Do you are you up to 2 a.m.? Or you're like, that kind of thing?
I have finished the history lecture, done an all-nighter, and then within, like... I mean, I think one of the history lectures I did recently...
professional, by the way, people. Academic professional,
I mean, I was always great with deadlines. I once finished the history lecture an hour before the stream started. So I did an all-nighter, and then I did the history lecture, and then I crashed out.
That's incredible. What's the... Okay, now I need to look at a visual example. What does... Even when you're streaming, you're doing like a 12-hour stream, what compiles on your desk? Do you have like teacups? Are you a messy workspace person, or are you like, it needs to be all clean?
On my old desk, which was much smaller, it was very cramped.
Before you got your desky desk.
Yes, I have my brand new desk, which is very nice and big.
Yes.
I can tell you what I have. I have my entire setup right now. I have my phone.
Give us the details.
I have a cup of tea.
Nice.
Water flask. I have my meds. I have a fidget toy that I stole from the FaZe warehouse. And I have Nintendo Switch 2 console controller and the foot cream that I had for the weird fungal infection or whatever the fuck it was. And then I have a random HDMI cable, which I don't know why is there, but it's there. And then I have, what is this?
A polite amount of chaos.
I have a voucher for a nail salon that I went to.
Oh, nice.
I don't even know if I'll ever go back to, but
you got the voucher.
I got the voucher.
So it's a reminder. Maybe I'll go back. Maybe I won't. Do you find there's like a part of your setup or your workflow that like chunks into your time? Or do you pretty much have it down to like a formula at this point? Like going live, I know what I'm going to do. Nothing's going to be like I have to stress about that.
Not really.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice.
I think the way that I view my content is like, I'm the thing that keeps you company throughout your day.
Okay,
like, that's how I kind of view myself. I don't really like have like any maybe grander ideas about who I am or what I do. Like, I kind of am just like the thing that accompanies you throughout your workday, maybe your sleep, you're like if you're playing a video game. Like, that's kind of my mentality, so that's what I offer in terms of content.
Interesting. I was gonna say, like, yeah, what's then the most, like, I guess, fulfilling creative part of the entire process for you? Is it then just like it's not necessarily it's the socialization, it's the character, it's like the kind of company that comes from that.
Yeah, I just get to hang out and hopefully have fun, and I don't know, like, I make money off like just doing what I did in my free time, essentially.
Do you feel like it may be an interesting pivot. Do you feel like, because, like, you do treat things so casually, and you're very reserved, and maybe you're not like putting so much on, do you find people project a lot more onto what they see on this stream, or do you think people can really, like, look past that and connect with your nature? Like, do you find people ever project onto the look of Cleo and, like, what you're doing, like this idea of who you are?
I think there's maybe a little bit of that, yes. Yeah. I think there's maybe some sections of my audience that have certain ideas of who I am.
Oh, interesting. Assumptions because of how you present yourself on stream?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, for most of the time, like, I just kind of want to chill and hang out. I don't really have any sort of grand ambitions most of the time. I have projects that I'm working on, and I do have project-itis, I guess, is like
I feel like that's a
thing.
Very common thing that VTubers have. I also suffer from project-itis.
So that eats into, like, sort of like stream time, but, like, I have, like, I don't know, I do have sort of like hang-ups about streaming in that when I'm streaming, I have kind of shoehorned myself into this setup that I have involving like doing long streams, and so if anything happens at all, I'm like, oh, then I can't stream.
Yes.
For some insane reason, I'm just like, wait, I only get to stream for 10 hours instead of 12? Well, then I may as well not stream at all.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's like, do you find that you're, like, then almost like kind of you're competing with this expectation that you've set up for yourself?
Yes, I do feel like I need to hit expectations that I put on myself, really. That is sort of like a not necessarily a gold standard, but like a standard that I put to myself of, like, if I'm going to stream, I want it to be a full day stream. I don't really like doing short streams because they're over before they start. Like, I sometimes like I had a 12-hour stream last week in which I got to the end and I was like, someone said, by the way, Cleo, 5 minutes left on the VOD on YouTube, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was 6 p.m.
It just, like, went by.
Yeah, like somehow 12 hours just go like that, and I'm like, I don't remember it being this late. So now
you're kind of like, there's a expectation because you are that thing. You're the person that streams a very long time, so if you can't do that, what's the point?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I've talked about this on my own stream, but like, like when it comes to, I think this is very like businessy and number friendly, and I apologize, but with regards to streaming and having an audience, a lot of the, at least for me, a lot of the benefits of streaming was that I was somewhat consistent in how I streamed and when I streamed and what I streamed. So a lot of approaches to streaming is maintaining that consistency and what I am doing and how long I do it. And so if you change that, that is going to screw you over. And so like, if I did like a drastic change now, it's probably gonna like destroy my career.
Well, interesting. I was gonna say, like, do you find that joining Faye changed the way you kind of viewed the way your own, I guess, your characterization of yourself, or like the branding that you present online? Did that make you approach things a little bit differently because you're kind of maybe trying to maintain the expectations of being part of a agency compared to being like the really super casual Cleo?
I don't think anything like that really changed.
Oh, that's
I think I'd like to think that like nothing changed in terms of presentation aside from the model.
Yeah.
You
weren't like, oh, I have to now. I'm wearing a cape now. I have to be a little bit more well behaved. I have to like, the beret has gold on it.
No, like
yeah.
Like aside from like I don't know rehashing a bunch of stories that I'd already told on stream, I feel like I didn't really do anything in regards to like I don't know how I presented myself in terms of like social media platform. Like I still don't know how to use social media. Like I still don't think I have anything interesting to say, so I inevitably then don't say anything. And all I do is I take pictures of myself that my community takes, and then I post them on Twitter.
Brilliant. I mean, it's so like but there's no element where you were like, maybe I shouldn't talk about that. Maybe I should be a little bit more, a little bit more professional.
There has been definitely topics which maybe I would have been maybe more open to talking about prior to joining Phase that I now am like, okay, maybe instead of like, talking about something that's a bit more, how do I say, controversial or heated, I'm like, okay, maybe I just don't bring that up because it's probably not a good idea when you're in a company. But like, aside from that, like,
just keep it really casual. Do you think that's kind of like, because you've always been so casual with who you are on stream, maybe there's that kind of there's less of that expectation to, I guess, like be what people expect Cleo to be what people expect to be the hag to be, or do you have fun maybe leaning into that? Like, do you balance the whole like, okay, sometimes I'm gonna be Cleo, or sometimes I'm gonna like really just embrace your own meme, I guess, embrace who you are? How much of that is like very easy because you've always just kind of been like, hi, I just want to play the games I like and be myself? You never went into it with like I'm gonna act a bit different than what's, I guess, comes naturally. Is that allowed you some kind of power?
I think a part of it is because I came in as an invader that I kind of I have the privilege of being able to just stay the same. Right?
Nice.
Like I don't need like I think for a lot of people when they go corporate, they feel the need to reinvent themselves because they get a new model, they get a new character necessarily. They they're like, oh, I can't be the thing that I was now before. I have to, change things up and I have to fit in a different sort of mold that maybe that company is after. I think it depends obviously on the company. Like some companies you get a model made for you.
Yes, you
and
got
some
to
companies
have some involvement in your process.
Yeah, no, I had pretty much, I wouldn't say I had complete control. Like there was definitely some feedback from both the artist and the management, but like I think if you're like in certain places you don't get any say in that and you have to fill that sort of expectation. But being an invader, I didn't really have anything like that, so I like the only thing I would say is that I think there's a lot of people who are maybe looting and are kind of horny about me now than was previously.
Say, is there maybe is there an expectation where you're like, okay, people are projecting a little something? Does that blur in your brain sometimes, or like they feel a certain way about a certain thing?
Maybe. I think what happened was that in rehashing old stories, a lot of the stories that I find funny in my life.
We did used to joke about you being our lewd tuber, didn't we? In Vishayan. Even back then, we were like, but that was funny because it was like, no one thought it. So to say that you were.
Yeah, it was like ironic, right?
It was so ironic.
I joined Phase, and then some of the stories
now
that I would talk about.
Now it's not ironic anymore.
Some of the stories that I would talk about are they're about personal accounts or personal events in my life, which.
You've always been very honest.
I'm very open.
Open to you. I think you've always been very honest about personal stuff as a person who's a VTuber. Not a lot of VTubers are that way.
I know. I just I never felt the need to like I don't know necessarily. I don't know if hide is the right word, but I never I like telling funny stories, and I have a lot of funny stories about my life. And some of those funny stories do involve how shall I say? I don't know. I wouldn't say not safe for work, but like intimate moments in my life in which like, I made a fool of myself or whatever.
Yes.
And then when I joined FaZe, I maybe fell for the sort of, well, I don't think I fell for the meme or anything, but basically in recounting those stories in a very quick succession, I think a lot of people maybe got a sort of I don't know, a misunderstanding about what what my streams are gonna be like and how I present myself, which I think I'm still trying to fight to this day, because I do have like a lot of people still.
I was gonna say, is there anything that
associate me as a
could you
loser.
say that there's something that people would like? What's the thing where like people maybe
some of it's
expect
projection
of
as
you?
well.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, what would they be the most surprised about? Like the genuine Cleo behind the camera, just like you're not that. You're just a lot more reserved. Like, is there a thing where you're like that would? They think the people who think that would be so shocked by the reality of you just hanging out eating digestive biscuits.
Yeah, I mean, I think a subset of the people who probably aren't actually in my audience, but just I don't know, think
Really
that I don't have a vagina, but I do.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like a lot of I think maybe people I just kind of present myself as very chill and laid back, and so I just kind of I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of exactly what I say on the tins type vibe of like
You're just like it's what happens. Do you find that because you are so honest, you are so forward with your personal stories and narratives, and that becoming part of the way you present yourself?
Yeah.
Does it ever kind of blur a line of how much your hours you spend streaming and working, like objectively working and spending time as yourself? Like, do you find those kinds of struggles with like being so constant? No, it's okay. More like I'm kind of in regards to burnout, because you're so on all the time, so honest, so present. Is there like a negative side to being so honest? Of it's all there. It's like you're almost you put makes us feel a bit vulnerable.
Sorry, one sec. That's my neighbor's dog going ballistic.
Oh, it's so good. Dog movement.
I was just closing the window so they're not so loud. Sorry, what was the question?
It's a bit of a personal question, but I was kind of asking, is there also inherent vulnerability with being so honest? And does that blur the line sometimes in a way that you have to be a bit aware of?
I think so, yeah. I think because this will be me being a little bit analytical of myself and my mental space and mental health, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that I think because I am kind of like so forward and honest about myself that, and I kind of wear myself on my sleeve.
Exactly.
Is that when I am streaming, Cleo and I are the same. This sounds really stupid.
No, I think this is a fair point. Yeah.
I think so much of myself is Cleo, and Cleo is so much of myself that when I have moments on stream where, things can go poorly, or like, people in chat can be a bit nasty,
you don't have
sassy or mean, that it can maybe sometimes affect me a bit more, because so much of this is me that it can, like if people are insulting you at some point, it does hurt your feelings.
I think a lot of VTubers talk about, the VTubing puts up this wall of protection, the separation from that. But when you actually approach it more casually and more genuinely, that starts to blur. And those there's no longer that kind of wall there. And when you were, even like through the time you've known you, I think you've not been the kind of person to maybe have a massive burnout or anything, but we all kind of experience moments throughout all of streaming where we have ups and downs.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you, like, if you have, in those moments you have experienced burnout, or you have experienced that self-criticism, like, how do you find yourself working through those in the past? And has it even ever been a moment, and this was a question I've asked everyone and I found interesting, did you ever have a moment, even, it could be early on, it could be a few years, months in, where you were like, I'm not sure if I can do this? And then what made you keep on doing it? If you did
I don't think I've ever gone that far, but I've definitely had days where I wake up and I'm just not, I can't be in the right mental state to want to. I think there is because I am so sort of like Cleo is me and I am Cleo.
Yeah.
I think there is definitely parts of that where I don't necessarily, like, if I'm not in the right mental state, that I feel, this will sound stupid,
No, go for it.
willing to be vulnerable on stream and open myself up to, you know, an audience of a certain size that can be, in some parts, you know, sometimes people can be
critical? Or
critical is, like, I don't mind people being critical or critiquing, but like it's sort of like the tone and the way that it comes across, right? And like that can be hurtful in a way where, you know, I'll wake up and I'll just think, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this today. I need to just like not look at the computer. Or if I'm going to look at the computer, I'm just going to zone out and veg out and play a video game for 10 hours and then go to bed.
So you found for you, it actually is very valuable to actually step away physically from like even like anything online, almost detach yourself from that.
Yeah, like a lot of times if I need to just like take a breather from YouTubing, for like a just like mental health break or just to help cheer myself
just
up.
To reset, I guess.
Yeah, like a lot of times it's just like chilling with Lottie or you know, previously Molly, and just like, you know, like watching random TV. Like I watch random
I was gonna say, you have little hobbies and stuff to just like decompress.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like a lot of what I do on stream is kind of just what I do off stream. So I play, you know, I play strategy games, and I just try and sort of like take it easy, I guess.
I guess like,
I don't know about you, but when I don't stream, I don't really talk that much.
Oh, no, not at all. Sometimes the first words a lot of the time, the first words I'll ever say, and maybe sometimes in a few days, the only words will be on stream. Yeah. Like I'll wake up, oh my God, that's the first time I've spoken. Like, same. Yeah. So by extension with that, do you think when you, like through the YouTubing for the last few years, and this is like a worded question, just say the whole question, like, do you feel like it's made you more confident as a person, or has it created new insecurities, or has it done both in a way that you've worked through across the, like over time? Like maybe the new insecurities you've worked through them, the new constant confidence you've worked through that. Like,
I think I am better with my shyness. I'm still a very shy person, but I think like I am really quite shy when I'm not streaming, and so I wouldn't say like introverted maybe.
Maybe that's something the audience would not expect.
Shy.
Do you think your audience expects you to be introvert?
I think I mean, I feel like I give off introvert / shy vibes, but I don't know for certain. I like when it comes to like when I was younger, at least, like a lot of what helped me get out of my shell was.
Were you a class clown, or you were very shy? You were a class clown.
Yes.
Interesting.
I wasn't the best academically.
Really?
The only course I was good at was history. Basically everything else I was just like straight B's, basically.
Yeah, you were quite athletic. It's interesting.
Yeah, I did a lot of sports.
Yeah.
I did a lot of sports, and then I basically had. I mean, I did get burned out from swimming, and then I pivoted to football, and then with football I was decent but not good enough to make it. And then after that, it was just like, well, I tried professional wrestling, got my brain bonked after 4 months, and was like, well, I should probably not do this if this is going to be I don't want to have a brain hemorrhage at the age of 25.
Made the good call, I think.
I mean, like, it turns out that, like, way wrestling is going now, that it's actually quite easy to, well, not quite easy, but, like, more and more talents from outside of America are making careers out of it, so it could have potentially been something there, but...
Could have been doing the real kafabe.
Yeah, kayfabe, sorry.
Yeah, I know. So you're always, like, kind of shy. Even though you did a lot of sports, I think people think of people who do a lot of sports as being a bit more extroverted, but...
You say that, but when you get... That might be at, like, a...
Just as I was a true, like, art dork.
That might be at, like, at a casual level, I would agree with you.
Okay.
On the upper levels, everyone's kind of neurotic. When your entire life is one sport, like for example, if you just like if your entire career is that you're a distance butterfly swimmer, right?
Yeah, okay.
All you're doing for like
it's just swimming.
Most of your life is you're doing one type of stroke in a swimming pool over and over and over again, just like trying to perfect your form. There is a level of like neuroticism in that. Sorry, I think I said that word wrong. There's a level of like just like hyperfixation and hyperfocus that is maybe not neurotypical. Yeah. And I think you would be surprised by. Have you ever seen Lionel Messi off the pitch?
Not a lot. Maybe an image.
He is incredibly awkward. I think he is maybe autistic.
Just so focused in like his craft.
There's various different like memes about him just like kind of just being a weird guy because he is just like his entire life has been football. There's like memes of people in like impersonating him.
Oh, that's brilliant. So it's like
of just like various different things that he's done. I could link you stuff, but maybe we don't watch that one.
Oh yeah, no, I actually want to see that afterwards. I mean,
okay.
So like with like your confidence with the streaming, were you always like okay with like a social conversation? Being a professor, I mean, you were complimented on your ability to entertain the class. Do you feel like it's always been there with you and VTubing's just improved, or have you had to be like, oh, I've actually gotten a little bit more comfortable with this?
I think I'm more comfortable being on stream. Like, there's definitely times where I'm like, I think I can, like, if it happens, I think I can wake up and just sort of lock in. I don't know if that's necessarily the best term, but I think there are definitely moments where I can just, without any preparation, I'll just wake up and then start, make myself a cup of tea, and then I'm just like, I'm on, right? I think there is elements of that. I don't think I need to necessarily like prepare. In fact, I don't prepare. Aside from like the history lectures is like the only time I ever actually prepare for my streams. Like I'll like set up a game beforehand, but really honestly that's it.
You install the game at the very least, maybe.
Yes.
But you also have a good internet, so you maybe don't even need to do that.
Sometimes I forget to install the game.
Sometimes just do it live.
But yes.
Yeah,
like I think streaming I can kind of just, I think I know what to do at least, maybe in terms of sort of like the attitude and mentality when it comes to just being casual on stream and just hitting go and yapping.
So that's interesting how it's boosted confidence. But with regards to maybe like any kind of, have you noticed it has propped up insecurities that you've then had to work through streaming?
I think it's not necessarily unique for me. I think a lot of us,
of course,
subconsciously or not, do have to care about performance, and because streaming has such open analytics, in terms of like there's literally a view count on the stream, that I think a lot of people, not necessarily just me, I think you do have to compartmentalize that the number isn't necessarily representative of like anything in terms of like, you as a person or you as a streamer or you as an entertainer. Like you don't necessarily, you need to kind of like come to terms with the fact that it is a popularity contest, and some people are just going to be, have bigger numbers than you or whatever.
Well, this kind of segues.
You can't really take it personal. Yeah,
this kind of segues in the next section, which I want to talk about a little bit. Which is like, I guess the industry in general, beyond like, we've been talking all about like you getting into it, like the evolution of that, and now that we're here and we're part of it, it's a thing we do regularly. As VTubers, because we are VTubers working in like you said, like the number world, the streamer world, the online world, content creators, whatever we want to freaking call it. But we still are like a niche and a subset broadly. Be it
we're a niche of a niche.
We're a niche on top of a niche. What, from your perspective, what do you think people continue to kind of like specifically get wrong about VTubing? Has it changed over the time you've been like streaming that you've noticed? Or is like there a thing that stands out that people like constantly just like assume about this niche that maybe is being different now that you're corporate?
I think there's a lot of general assumptions or misconceptions about VTubing from outside of VTubing, looking in. Like a lot of people think, oh, it's just like guys with voice changes or
Yeah,
whatever. There's the classics like that, right? I think in then VTubing, there's like in the VTubing audience, there may be certain, like in the broader VTubing community, there may be like assumptions based on who you are as a person based on the content that you do, right?
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
all the accusations of things like being a pick-me or like, you know, certain content.
You can't stream as certain people. You can do this with certain thing. You play certain games.
Yeah, there's all sorts of assumptions based on like, oh, you only play this because it gets you views, right? You don't actually care about the thing that you're playing. You're just after the audience. You're just after their money, right?
Is there different kind of assumptions as being a corporate VTuber? Different kind of assumptions?
I think in corporate VTubing there is also maybe some sort of assumptions based on either the company at large or just like the culture of VTubing in general, I suppose. Like there's definitely like a, you know, I mean, like, you know, you get called stuff like corporate shill and whatnot.
Is it something that people like kind of, I guess, like a difference that like a misunderstood difference, I guess, maybe between corporate and then doing it independently, like maybe like the misunderstanding that you have to stay in your own bubble or you have to be on YouTube, or is that valid? Is that changing? Is there those kind of expectations?
I think the industry is going to shift throughout, right? We're currently seeing all sorts of changes happening in VTubing and or streaming in general and content creation in general, where like whole, like, you know, people kind of, I mean, if I talk generally, I think in like people are very confused as to what is going on right now, especially in regards to like performances involving like views or streams is definitely something that is a little bit on topic right now because of changes with like platform YouTube stuff. Blamed, I think, ad block, and like I think Twitch was saying that their stuff was like
the rollback
anti-view
stuff.
botting.
Yeah, and anti-view botting.
So like there's all sorts of weird things going on that I think is, you know, in
general, like going on.
Yeah, it's you know, it's affecting the industry
I guess to circle back to like what your I guess like the general differences between like indie versus corporate and like in the wider space. No, it's completely fine. I mean, so what do you feel from your perspective? Because like you said, you don't focus on creativity and stuff like that. You just focus on being yourself and everything. What do you feel about like the emphasis, even from people like me, I'll fully admit, of people kind of putting a strong value on independent creativity versus like the restrictive corporate? Like, is this valid or is this overblown? Are there cases where it is valid? Is it cases where it's actually not that relevant? You'll find the pros outweigh the con from your personal perspective of what you've experienced.
Sure.
How do you kind of feel about that kind of, and it is a very common, you know, sentiment held by a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say for the entire industry.
Of course.
I can only really talk from my personal perspective. I think, like, I understand why a lot of indies do feel the way that they do in regards to they want to do it themselves. They want to have full control. They want to have full creative control, and that is completely valid, right? Like, if you are so attached to who you are as a streamer, who you are as a, like, your character, what you present yourself as, right? You don't want to necessarily have to give that up, and not everyone necessarily gets the same opportunity that I did in regards to being like an invader, right?
That's a good point, of course.
90, I can't give you like an actual number of it, but like I would say like the vast majority of maybe like 90% of all like corporate VTubing opportunities are essentially forfeiting everything, and you become, you feel like a character for them, right? And then you're not what you were previously. So like you can, like, I think a lot of indies who are very passionate about like maintaining creative control or maintaining just financial control, right?
Yes.
Like, that's completely fine. You should, if you believe that is what is best for you, then you should stay independent. I can only talk about what it's like in Phase Connect, but
Yeah.
it's generally just like,
That's an overblown assumption in that case.
yeah, like, I haven't had any sort of negative things happen since joining. Like, I haven't had anything bad happen. It's been pretty smooth sailing. I haven't really had like any sort of bad things full stop. So
yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, when
like,
you were oh, sorry, you say.
So I was gonna say, like, when it comes to like stuff like financials,
Yes.
like, obviously, only join like, my advice for anyone who is like on the fence about joining a company, like, if it is something that you are concerned about, like the financial situation, like, you need to weigh the benefits of if joining a company would be financially beneficial for you, right?
Yes, of course.
Because, like, if it doesn't make financial sense, then you shouldn't do it. Like, if you are going to join a company and it is a step down for you financially, then don't do it, right? Like, and I think, it depends on both your own personal situation and then also the company, right? Like, a lot of companies aren't profitable. Like, there's maybe like, I mean, we've seen recently that like, oh wait, the this whole huge company that everyone assumed was doing amazingly and was so ubiquitous within the space and like was one of the top dogs, all of a sudden just explodes because it turns out they were not financially viable at all and never were.
I think this is an interesting and kind of segues into this financial stability being quite important when making the decision, because I think in some cases some people can be maybe mystique by, I guess what I want to segue into a conversation about this idea of like, what's your perspective on, I guess, success by association, or more so like, what do you think about the idea of the kind of the prestige that one can obtain by either getting a quality model by a certain artist or, joining a corporate group and then propping up this individual that may have been previously less recognized beforehand? What are your feelings about that whole occurrence? And is it kind of something we just have to expect? What are the pros and cons? Like, from your point of view of, I guess, transitioning to a space that is, I guess, maybe has a bit of legacy, like Phase Connect.
Yeah, like, I think, that's, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, like, a lot of this space in regards to opportunities does come from projection and, clout and, like, who you know as well, obviously. It's not necessarily how good you are as a streamer, it's like who you know and who you can contact. And a lot of times, like, when it comes to artists, you just don't get opportunities unless you are a big name or have a big name attached to you. I've talked about that where I was, I would try and contact people for assets for stream, and I would get ignored. And then all of a sudden I have this email account that has Phase Connect on it. I email people I may have emailed in the past as an indie, and I get a reply in 5 minutes or 15 minutes, and they didn't reply to me when I was an indie. And so it's just kind of how the whole space operates.
How it goes,
It kind of sucks, but that is just kind of how it is. And it sucks that is how it is, but unfortunately there's only so many people out there who maybe have the skills that maybe are of a quality that you would want. And there's, a lot of people in demand for that. And then also when you have a big name, if you have a big name,
in some way it's understandable, because you are then being, I guess, seen as more, there's a validation of this corporation has hired me, or this artist has worked with me to get this certain model.
It can feel like validating in terms of like, oh, I've made it because I have a model by blah blah blah, and they did a model for XYZ, right?
You have to almost understand why people would flock to that.
And there's definitely, there are people out there who try and get models with certain people because it is a big name, right? Like, and so, those people then get to be very picky about who they choose to work with, because um, you know, they are able to have more high-profile clients and then also have high-profile prices, let's say. Turns out in Japan, that's not a thing. Turns out in Japan, they might have like high prices, but it's not because of like them having like a I don't know. I can't think
prestige,
of
behind
this artist did a model for like
for X
I don't know
person,
the X person or Y company. Therefore, their prices go up. The prices are just high because they are of a certain standard.
Great quality, yeah. I mean, like, is there maybe an element of, I guess, on the negative side, you got all these positives, like your association, good model, and of course it's gonna be expected. You get this kind of new influx of attention.
Yeah.
Can this also be connected to an imposter syndrome? And have you experienced that at all, or are you aware of this being a thing on the corporate side that you have to encounter because you're maybe getting this attention? You're feeling not unsure about it?
Prior to debut, I definitely felt imposter syndrome.
Interesting.
So I was like, I was constantly thinking like, oh, they picked me, right? Like they wanted me to be an invader. It was, it's definitely something that was going in my head where I was like, am I like good enough for this? Because obviously you have the whole company's reputation at stake. Like you kind of, they are taking a chance on you. This is either if you're like an invader or like a regular member. But that's, that happens, I think, probably to everyone. I imagine, like, for example, in the big companies, like, there may be like an element of imposter syndrome or pressure that you need to, live up to expectations, which, I think that's normal for most people.
Yeah, right? I mean, when you said that, like, the expectations of the company, you were saying that you can't keep things very casual in general, but being corporate, is there now a voice in the back of your head that goes, I am a phase person, I have something I have to represent? There is a certain ethics you have to uphold, or an effort you have to put into, I guess because you're maybe proud, you want to do well by being, this opportunity.
To an extent, yes, but also they hired me because of who I am.
Nice.
In terms of what the content that I do, so I figured, like,
just do it.
Instead of like maybe worrying about that, what if I just keep doing the thing that they hired me for? And then I think that's probably like a good thing to maybe do.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, this is a full question, and I feel like you might have a good take on this. What do you think is like the harshest lesson to learn about growing and, I guess, quote unquote, success? Maybe specifically, not in general as a streamer, but specifically as a VTuber, like in VTuber culture.
The hardest lesson?
Yeah.
That you can be the best streamer in the world and no one will watch you.
Yeah.
That like you can be an amazing singer, you can be an amazing storyteller, you can be an amazing gamer, you can be amazing in so many ways, and you can be so sure of yourself, and no one will know you exist because there's like tens of thousands of people trying to stream on YouTube and Twitch all at the same time. Like, let me just go quickly check.
Just check how many people are live right now.
How many people are live on Twitch alone right now? There are 101,516 channels currently broadcasting on Twitch. And you are just one of those channels. And so the likelihood of success is so absurd that it's like, there are no guarantees in this industry and you can't take it personally because ultimately a lot of it is just luck. Sometimes someone takes a chance on rating you. Sometimes, a clip of yours goes viral. Sometimes, I don't know. It's just all completely out of your control, and regardless of your skills, you generally don't really have like a control of success is not guaranteed in this space.
Which I think is a very good lesson to keep in mind constantly when getting into something like this. And with all this in mind, with the idea of, like, I guess, corporate stuff being able to prop you up and give you an opportunity or give you a position, do you think for VTuber specifically, there will always be corporate? Will corporate always dominate? Or is the indie model kind of catching up? Is there going to be a space where that the corporate opportunity isn't like foundational or necessary, or is it always going to be like, no, you are going to have this space in conventions, you are going to have this reach to artists?
What do you I would say that I think we are moving away from I think VTubing definitely in 2025 is showing signs that it's moving away from the corporate dominated aspect. And I'm not saying that like every company is going to die.
No.
I'm gonna
no, and this is not implying that
far.
like if they completely disappear, like a thing.
Yeah.
It's more just because there's so much that goes into VTubing with models and assets and opportunities. Is that why corporate still continues to be so important, I guess, in this space for people?
Yeah, I think I mean a lot of what gets eyes on VTubing in the first place are these big corporations and these big events, right? And like I think that the indie scene benefits from corporate VTubers existing, and the corporate scene benefits from indie VTubers existing.
That's a really good way to look at it. Yeah, of course.
I think it's not necessarily that like one is better than the other, but that both, like if both are succeeding, then that is good for everyone.
Absolutely.
And I think it's in terms of like, I think like if corporate VTubing does better, that will result in better opportunities for indie VTubers, and I think likewise as well. I don't necessarily think like the corporate scene is going to die. I think it will probably continue to shrink, simply because VTubing had its boon in like the COVID era, and we are now 5 years from COVID happening. So
do you think that VTubing will always stay niche, or like or do you see it breaking into the mainstream, and two, do you think it needs to break more into the mainstream to be able to persist in like the streaming and like content creation ecosystem?
I think there's probably still, I think it's a bit silly to maybe say yes or no to like these answers.
No,
but
and I don't want you to say
there's definitely
open up, give me some insight.
I think there's definitely still opportunities for VTubing to grow and definitely to expand into maybe more traditional media. A lot of those things that were like VTubing or anime adjacent definitely already had that. We had a Crunchyroll VTuber who I think is now retired.
Yes.
And you know, you had Gargura in a Taco Bell advert, I believe. So I think you know, there's.
What would you like to see? Like, what's the thing where you're like, oh god, I would love to see VTubers there? Is there a thing where you're like, I want VTubers on WWE? Like...
Well, there was actually, you say that, but there was actually a talent in WWE who was.
I didn't know that. That's exciting.
Yeah. He now works for AEW / Ring of Honor, which is another company. But yeah, he's still around. I don't know if he does his VTubing anymore. I think he just pivoted over to like IRL streaming instead. But yeah, no. I think there's definitely still room for growth and still ways for you know, corporate VTubing to grow. And I think if corporate VTubing succeeds, I think indies benefit. I think a lot of people have seen the events that have happened in especially the last 2 years of corporate VTubing, and being like, oh, the time of corporations is at an end, so is the age of indies. But I think, you know, it'll definitely be more. I think the corporate scene's probably going to consolidate even more. I imagine there's probably a lot of small companies out there who are probably not going to last, but that is just the nature of the game, is that these companies require money, and I imagine most of them are not profitable. So, you know, they will eventually close.
What about, I guess, specifically the kind of, I guess, corporate ethos, the aesthetic of corporate VTubing, the way corporate VTubers act, which is very much, in the case of FaZe, it's not what people would consider to be a typical corporate company. A lot of the talents do not adhere to the traditions of corporate VTubing that have slowly kind of disappeared through the years of us streaming it, with certain companies acting poorly and then talents having to move on, and us kind of changing the way we even talk about moving between corporation and indie, re-debuting, redesigning, is more and more of that inevitable and valuable, like breaking down those, I guess, cliches, those, oh, you have to go to the idol meeting, etc. Even, you know, just that stuff.
I think
is that why you like Phase? The ability to just be like, they're
I mean,
way more
Phase
relaxed.
Phase is cool because it's just you get to, like, you genuinely, like, it's so hands off. It's such an unserious company that you don't really have like anything to worry about in regards to like presentation or how you need to like conduct yourself. It, like, you know, what works for one company doesn't necessarily work for another company.
Yes, of course.
And so I think, you know, everyone inevitably makes the comparison to the big dogs, right? Like, you, regardless of who you are in VTubing, you're probably always going to get compared to the biggest company or the biggest indies. And so, I mean, like, what works for you probably might not work for other people, and vice versa. And it's important to, I guess, just like maintain distinction. There's probably a market for everything. So you just kind of, and so you don't necessarily need to shoehorn yourself into, I don't know, like a mentality of
having to act
I've got to act this way because that's how Hololive act, right? Like, you can just be yourself, I think.
Well, talking about,
you don't need to trace trends either, but you know,
talking about being yourselves, then I feel like I want to kind of maybe delve a little bit into that as a few final questions. We are going to wrap up in a little bit here. With being yourself, and that is consistently a thing that's always been true to you, what do you think is like kind of the message or theme of your streams, of what you present online, that when all's said and done, like, it's at its core? Like, what's the core Clearwhite ethos?
It's a hard question. I think for me, it's just like, you know, like, let's just have some fun. The world is kind of fucked up. You know, if you want to hang out and have a, you know, hopefully a fun time, and you happen to like history or you happen to like strategy games, like, you know, that's kind of just what I'm gonna be doing. Like, I don't take myself too seriously, I think. So, like, and like VTubing and streaming is like, you know, there's a business element to it, but it's deeply unserious as well. Like, we're just, you know, I'm the little jester on the other monitor or the phone or in your ear because you're listening to me and you're doing work. Like, I'm just a digital jester trying to make my liege lord you laugh, right?
Well, even though you are a historian and you care a lot about history, you think it's kind of maybe important to not dote too much on the legacy? Or do you ever kind of go, well, that's pretty cool, eh? It was the first to do the hag tag? Or do you just like, no, I just want to be the silly, and then whatever happens, like, happens?
I think it'd be nice to be like, I don't know, some groundbreaking new streamer or anything, like, to have some sort of, I don't know, legacy or success. But, you know, at the end of the day, I just kind of want to have fun, and I want to enjoy the company of my viewers, and hopefully they vice versa as well enjoy mine. And, you know, we can have a grand old time hanging out and just, I don't know, not taking the whole situation too seriously and just enjoying life, because you know, we live in a weird world.
It's a weird time.
We live in a weird world, and there's a lot going on, and, you know, sometimes you just want to have a distraction from the day-to-day issues, and hopefully my stream can be like a place for that, you know.
That's a beautiful insight. And now that you've given you moment to be introspective and lovely, I have some silly questions to finish off for
Sure.
us today.
Hit me.
Eating on stream, yes, no. How do you make it work? Do you like to BRB? Do you like to chat? Do you like to play a game? Do you like to watch a video? What do you think?
If it's a snack, I'm just eating it on
Just
stream,
snacking,
and I
yeah.
can play.
Yeah.
The only like real breaks that I take at the moment are like if that falls as a BRB screen.
Yeah.
Is dinner. Like I'll go have my dinner, which is normally like a 5-10 minute break. Otherwise, I'm just like BRB going to the toilet, BRB taking Lottie outside. Sometimes I'll have like snacks on stream and I'll just mute and just like keep playing whilst I punch away. Sometimes I'm just eating away from the mic, but yeah.
You just kind of integrate it on the fly kind of thing. Clearwhite, should streamers play games on release? Why not? When and when shouldn't they?
If you are caring about number performance, you play it first day and then that's it. You don't touch it. If you are wanting to play a game at release, you kind of have to strike whilst the iron is hot, because there's going to be probably a billion other people also doing it, and people naturally gravitate to the bigger streams. Unfortunately, that's just how the human brain sort of processes things, where it's like they see something that has lots of views, so ergo it must be good, so they click on it. But yeah, I think a lot of it is like, if you want to stream a game, like, and you care about your stream's performance, it is really rough to play it at launch, because you are competing with everyone else, and then you're also competing with your viewers who might want to play that game themselves and don't want to get spoiled. So I definitely had that with, I've had that with like Elden Ring DLC. That was like, I think that was brutal for my numbers, but I wanted to play it. So
you was like, sometimes you just want to play the game. You can't even think about numbers. You're like, I'm just doing it for me.
I just wanted to play it, so I did.
And then some final streaming insight. Collaborating. Why do you specifically? Why do you like doing it? When do you like doing it the most? And what kind of games do you find are your favorite games to actually play when you collab with people?
I mean, for me, I just like collabing with my friends. Like, at least for me personally, I do prefer that like I get to know the person beforehand.
Interesting.
Before I collab. I'm not really the type of person that like, I don't really want our first ever time talking to be the collab itself, right?
Didn't you and Marco do that? Like, that was crazy. I remember that you guys I think it was one of my first streams I met you, when you collabed with Marco.
We had been chatting like off stream, obviously. Like a little bit, but like there can be like weird situations where people are like, especially when it's very obvious that like people are trying to number chase, which is always something.
Do you think collabs are important for that, or like do you treat collabs as very much as hanging out things?
For me, it's something I want to do because I want to hang out and I enjoy the other person, and I think we have a good chemistry. Like, I mean, I think for me at least, when I have collabs, I think I get actually worse views, so it's not necessarily like, a performance thing. It's just something for fun, right? Like, I don't know. I do still feel like, because I know that is a thing. I also feel weird about ever reaching out to people who are quote unquote bigger. Like, even if I am, doing pretty decently now, like I don't really like reach out to people.
There is that collab anxiety that a lot of YouTubers have. Like, the one is like, please reach out to the person. It's like, what if they think I'm an asshole who's just wanting to, but there's not really a segue into it.
I don't know. I do feel awkward about, asking for collabs. I'd rather just, get to know the person
naturally. And what's your like favorite things to collab when you do? Is it games that you like, or?
I think games that I'm comfortable with. I think are better for collabs because you can just like, you don't need to focus on the game, so you can just yap. You don't necessarily need to like have like the game take all the attention away from the other person that you're talking to.
For you, it's mainly just a hangout thing. It's not even really about playing the game. It's just like, I get to enjoy this person's company. All right, clear. We have some final hot seat questions, and these are the questions I know everyone in the chat has been waiting to hear. They don't care anything else about your goddamn VTuber history. They're really here for these questions. What's the last song you listened to?
Oh, I can tell you it.
Yeah, that's right.
Last
song on your Spotify, your Apple Music. Oh, first of all, are you a Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube Music person?
Neither. I don't use either.
What do you use?
Nothing. I don't really listen to music that much.
CDs? Like what?
No, I don't really listen to music that much. I will, like, in my free time, I'll have maybe like various different YouTubers that I watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I listen to music, it's normally just like, I don't know, it's actually pretty infrequent.
Oh, and what was the last song?
Yeah. The last song that I listened to was, sorry, I have to get my history up.
Oh, yeah.
Is it maybe a weird cut that I don't think people will expect?
It's great.
It was, if I scroll down, Boldy James and the Alchemist, Grey October.
There you go, chat. Boldy James, Alchemist, Grey October. What was the last movie?
Featuring Evidence, apparently.
What's the last movie you watched? Do you remember?
Oh, jeez. It might be K-pop Hunters.
K-pop Hunters?
K-pop Demon Hunters. I think I watched like 2 weeks ago.
What's the current series? Oh, first of all, what's your review? What Demon Hunters? 10 out of 10? 5 out of 10? Liked it? Loved it? Hated it?
It was fun. I didn't really think it was... It wasn't like groundbreaking or anything. It was just fun, I guess.
It was fun. What's the current series you're watching? Either anime or something else?
Watching nothing. I've been watching this
Not even
K-pop.
Like
There's this K-drama series that I've been watching since the start of this year that I still have 2 episodes to go. There's only 16 episodes.
Just like dragging out the enduring ending.
Yeah, I mean, I stream for 12 hours every day, so I don't have the time to watch it.
Does do it. Are you currently reading any manga and or doujin and or books? What's your current roster?
Sure, let me go find that. Let me check.
Do you find you read more than you watch stuff?
Yes, absolutely. Well, you can consume stuff faster by reading it versus watching it. Off the top of the list, the guy she was interested wasn't a guy at all. Utsuchiya Dame na Kao, which I'm probably butchering. Its English title is A Face You Shouldn't Show. That one is not safe for work. I started getting into Bocce the Rock.
Oh,
it's alright.
Nice.
Kaze-san is a good one. I enjoy that. What else is there? Asumi-chan is interested in brothels. That one's funny. I don't think what else.
That probably is the longest reading list we've got so far. That's brilliant.
Watanare, I think, is another one as well that I like.
Watanare.
Oh, I've been watching. Actually, no, I have been watching Watanare. Sorry,
okay,
I completely forgot about
watching Watanare, reading it, checking it out. Is there any non-manga that you've been reading at the moment? You were just focused on working through your manga.
Yeah, just like history stuff.
History stuff in general.
Yeah.
Second to last question. What's the last meal you ate?
Meal that I ate?
Yeah.
I had a peanut butter sandwich this morning.
Hell yeah. And now, the most important one, and you might have to bring up your phone for this. What are your 3 most used emojis on your phone? Not your emotes.
Jeez.
Yeah, we want to know your last 3 most used emojis on your phone. This is important. This is the most important question.
Is it across? Does your phone recognize it across, like...
It's in the most recent since the first 3 from left to right.
Do you want Discord? Like Discord?
No, I want your phone.
My phone?
Yeah. Like
crying emojis.
Yep.
Recent or most used?
The top 3. The top most.
Oh, this is just recent. I don't know how to get most used.
I think it is in the recent. It defaults it to the top, the ones you use the most.
It's sobby crying emoji.
Yeah.
Salute emoji.
Salute emoji.
And tears in eyes, like
laughing, crying,
like smiling emoji. I don't know how to describe that one. What is it?
Is it the laughing, crying emoji?
The first one is the laughing, crying one.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that one. That's that one.
Brilliant.
What's it called?
I
Face holding back tears, apparently, is what it's called.
It is brilliant. Thank you so much, Cleo, for your emojis. And thank you so much for being here and talking to me for 2 hours out of your very busy day. I really appreciated it, having you stop by the pod and get the insight and perspective of, like, I think, hope some people got to learn a bit more about, like, your origins and what it's been like to be on a different side from going indie corporate, all the rest of it.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I didn't answer every question properly.
There is no proper way, and I just had a lovely time talking to you, so thank you for hanging out today. As the guest, is there any way you would like to suggest for a raid, a person you would like to send some support today?
Yozo is live?
Yeah, we can send our support over to Yozo. Absolutely, let's do that. All right, everyone, thank you for being here. We're going to raid Yozo. You probably already know where to find Cleo Ite online. Is there anything also that you would like, that you're working on at the moment, that you're looking forward to, that you want to, like, direct people to? Is there a project coming up that you can talk about, that you're excited, other than us going to PAX?
Yeah, we've got PAX. What have I got to
Where can people find you? Cleo Ite on everything.
Oh yeah, Cleo Ite on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. What else? I have some projects that I can't talk about.
Yes.
But there is also, I guess I can talk about it now because it finally got announced. Phase Saga got announced today.
It did. I saw that.
Yes.
Congratulations on your voice acting and your incredible animation.
Yes.
Big exciting things coming for Phase.
I got sent a message last week saying, Cleo, can you pretend to voice act to this? And I said, okay.
Amazing.
So yeah, that was that.
Phase Saga.
So that's, I think Irie has already revealed that it's Gen 4.
You can say it's Gen 4.
Yeah, it's Gen 4.
Are you looking forward to, for the first time, being a Kohai? Is it Kohai?
I'm gonna be a senpai, which is weird.
Is that something you ever thought about, having to become a senpai?
I mean, they were in the
basement, that's true.
Like a long time. So...
Yeah, they've been there with you guys rattling around.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Everyone thank you for having me.
Everyone go support Cleo, go support the Phase girls. This has been such a lovely, and can't wait till we get to hang out and sink some beers on the Melbourne weekend.
Shink some titties.
All right, everybody, have a nice rest of your day. Thank you for being here.
Good night, guys.
Bye bye.
Good night. Sorry.
Good night. Yeah, maybe it is
midday. Bye.
It is. Bye.
This has been a Cynapse Inc. broadcast. Cynapse Inc. linking you with a safer tomorrow.